Hello and welcome to the 83rd Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large in Live for Speed tonight at Aston Historic Reversed with the FZR. It's round 11 of the main championship, one to go. You're watching Sim Broadcasts. I'm Peter Butcher, and joining me in the commentary box tonight, it's a trio. It's Eoin Harmon and Miika Sarkinen. Eoin, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm in good form, Pete. Thanks for asking.
And good stuff. Miika, how are you?
All good here as well, albeit being a bit cold here out in Finland.
Sorry, Eoin, if I call you Beth, I've been watching The Queen's Gambit on Netflix quite a lot recently, so yeah, you share the same surname. That's very confusing. So we'll get going and see what's coming up with us with this round tonight. If I can get my words out, there we go. There is the calendar. We have a 12-round championship, which is almost going to be wrapped up in a month's time. And we will know who is definitely going to be our winner imminently, I expect. But here's the stadium for this evening's action, the 8.1 kilometre 5 mile historic reversed configuration on Aston. We're going to get 33 laps, which is 267 kilometres around here this evening. We've had a 1 hour qualifying session, of which I believe there are 23 times so far, so plenty of drivers choosing to join us this evening, which is excellent on these darkening nights here in Europe. Just a 10-second mandatory pit stop today, but that's still plenty of excitement generally to scare the order up a bit. So there we go. 3.6 litre flat six rear engined rear wheel drive FZ50 GTR is the car of choice this evening, and it weighs in just over a ton, being a GT style tin top, and has just under 500 brake horsepower, so plenty fast enough for some of the more complicated and more demanding corners at Aston Historic Reversed, Eoin.
Yeah, it is quite an enormous track, it has to be said, and this car will be put through its paces with the sheer variety here at AS4R, and yeah, it should be fascinating to see how they get on. Miika and I were talking about the first chicane, how drivers will deal with that on the opening lap, but even if they do deal with it appropriately, there are so many corners that have to be negotiated.
Yeah, and we've got just over 2 minutes left in the session, and it is Mantas, who's currently on the cameras, who leads the way. And well, he's done a very, very nice time. That's 2 and a bit hundredths faster than anybody else out there at the moment, with Upsas in P2. And there's one name that's missing from this order, gents.
Gabor.
Yeah, not seeing Gabor around here.
Yeah, I wonder what he's up to this evening. Well, we're going to go through the championship standings in a bit and show you just what's going on there, and show you the implications that has on tonight's running. But here we go. We're going to follow Mantas around. 2 minutes left on the clock, so not enough time for anybody just leaving the pits to set a final fastest lap. So the drivers will be able to complete the lap they're on. They might just get time to squeak in another lap, and with it being well over 2 minutes to get around here, we're going to be eating into that break that we have between qualifying and the race quite significantly tonight on such a long track. So out of the middle sector for Mantas, and then up this long straight towards the final sector, but still plenty of action to go, and one of the most tricky corners in Aston, the corkscrew, but in the downhill. Here it comes.
Yeah, you can certainly sense how hard those tires have to grip to the tarmac, and there we go. There's the downhill.
Yeah, difficult with a light car as well. When the car doesn't have as much fuel in it, then you're only relying on mechanical grip and the downforce, and the car was airborne basically as it went down there. So straight through the tyres, and Mantas will probably not be improving on his lap time here. But we will have a look as he makes his run up to the final kind of kink on this massively long straight, the longest straight on any standard configuration in Live for Speed currently, and across the line eventually for no improvement on that run. So I'm guessing he's probably on a race installation, and we'll try and get another one in at the end of the session, but don't expect any improvements from there we go. Definitely don't expect any improvements from Mantas. Here comes Unite across the line, currently P3. Will he improve late in the session? Well, it's a 19:29, his best in qualifying. Soini has just about squeaked onto another lap. Rayman just missed out across the start-finish line, so as long as Soini finishes his lap, he'll be the final car to do so.
Yeah, he should be pretty satisfied with a 9th place start as of right now. There are maybe 1 or 2 drivers who could take it away from him. Yeah, this is a hopefully. It was me lagging out there, sorry. Back to connection here. 46.13 sector 1. Now going through the 7 through 10. Lots of challenging right-handers there.
Looks like Owen's having a bit of trouble with his network there, Miika, so we'll take over the baton for now. Yeah, we're watching Teemu Soini for World Class Lions. They're just dropping a wheel on the grass. You don't want to be dropping a wheel on the grass there. It can send the car all sorts of out of shape. And again, just struggling through the hairpin at the back of the track. As Soini makes his way onto the long back straight. And then down the very, very difficult corkscrew that we saw Mantas try to get right before. But it just didn't quite work out. Let's watch him through the corkscrew from the blimp cam, Miika.
Yeah, he's driving the car very much on the limit, so the corkscrew, it might be a hard place to go, and he's going very wide, cutting some grass, and he's gone wide. Oh,
there we go.
He's just trying so hard.
Well, it looked good, but it wasn't fast, unfortunately, for Teemu Soini, and that is everybody. Teemu was by far and away the last car to come across the line. But didn't quite make it in the end. So we can get a look at our qualifying results as we watch Jari Kitila do some warm-up. In the background, it's Mantas for Born to Race, who takes pole position ahead of his teammate Upsas, who will share the front row. It's going to be a side of second row with Unite next to Rick Cardle in third and fourth. Then we've got another set of teammates on the third row. It's going to be World Class Lions Joni Kitila going under the pseudonym of True Alpha alongside Asker. Then the trend breaks. It's Rayman and Rony for 2 different teams. B2R Rayman on P7, Race Green Rony on P8, and then World Class Lions duo rounding out the top 10, Soini and Koivunen. So yeah, Soini got a decent lap in during the session, just couldn't get one together at the very end. Then we've got JSK in P11, Tallenberg P12, Lorenzo, Adal, Yasin, T-Bug, Jari Kitila, Mad Jester, Lord Jag, and D0 FPS. They're the 3 SGR drivers rounding out the top 20. Over to the second page of our qualifying standings. Just 3 drivers, Ruby, Christie, and Hermani. So actually, 5 SGR drivers are going to be starting this race all together from, what is that, P18 down to P22. How's that worked out?
That's a nice long string of SGR guys, but well, let's see if they climb up on the order during the race. I'm very excited to see how their race pace is.
Yeah, well, at least they're consistent. So it's always fun to battle your teammates, but I'm not quite sure they were quite prepared for all 5 of them battling each other off the line. So that's going to be sparks and fireworks at the back, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so that's the qualifying done. Let's take a look and turn our attention to the driver championship standings. Now, remember, in this series, we do not have a team's championship table. It's all about the drivers' championship standing, and it is Rick Cardle who leads the way by 220 points. And with Gabor not currently in attendance, Owen, Rick Cardle can seal the deal today. I think he's already sealed it, but he can well and truly walk away with it today.
Yeah, I'm just dipping in and out there. But yeah, basically, Rick has pretty much got sealed if Gabor's not around. So yeah, it seems like a simple job to win.
It seems like Gabor has joined the serve.
Oh, good.
And he's been asking about fuel and how much it takes the 10 seconds stop for the fuel. So it seems like he's starting the race, but he doesn't have lap time, so he's probably starting on the last position, and we'll try to climb up from there.
Well, that will be exciting. So I'm glad he's made it, but yeah, he's got a lot of work to do, and I don't think he'll be closing up to Rick Cardle today unless something dramatic happens. So we will see. Further down the order, we've got Rony in P3, who is unlikely to move upwards, but could move downwards. He's in a fight with your teammate, Miika.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Hamel isn't around today. He's in a cruise on Baltic Sea, so
very much
he's
out of home. Away from his desk, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
not able to defend from Donny, who I don't think is here either. But we do have Oscar, Pekka Koivunen, and Jari Katila, so 3 world-class Lions drivers who could all be in it with a chance of overtaking Donny in the drivers' championship standings. Let's let these graphics fly on by, and if you spot your name, thank you for being one of the many attendees for this season of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large. Tonight is the penultimate round, sad face, of the 2023 championship. We've had some exciting races this year, and I think tonight could be up there because, for all throughout history, Aston, the big tracks at Aston with the fast GTR cars have always given us some excitement, Owen.
Yeah, that they have. Yeah, some very worthwhile races we've had around here. I just think back to the most recent one, but yeah, it is certainly a treat when we do run around Aston and spend approximately 2 minutes per lap each time. So yeah, this should be another great example.
Indeed. Well, we have 4 minutes to go before the lights go out for the start of the race. Round 11 of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large coming at you in just a few moments' time. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back to round 11 of RTFR XL in Live for Speed. We're just about ready to go, under a minute left now before the drivers will ready up, and we will get 33 laps of racing around one of my favourite tracks in Live for Speed, but in the reverse direction, which is unusual. We get the corkscrew in the downhill configuration, which, as you've seen through qualifying with Mantas and Teemu Soini, both having a little bit of trouble. It's fair to say. Miika, it's going to be fireworks on the first lap, especially towards the back, I reckon. So let's enjoy this one.
Yeah, the first chicane might be a killer for many of them, but let's hope they all get through it.
Now we have our drivers assembled on the grid. The aforementioned run down to the first chicane, a big test here, but B2R have the front row lockout, so they might be able to plot their approaches together and keep the Unite and Cardle duo at bay. So here we go, the lights are on and they're away. Looks like a solid launch for Upsas. He's going to probably stay put, watching out for Rick Cardle in the Sidus livery on the left hand side. Unite trying to get close as he can, and then Yannick Tillin P5 just in the very background there. The leaders all through. Okay, Rony bit loose on the grass, but he's able to slow down Koivunen, also kicking up dirt. But it seems like Lord Jag is the unlucky driver. He's lost a few places, but he can easily gain them back, as Ruby, one of his other SGR teammates, is a bit slow himself.
Yeah, great calls there, Owen. And as predicted, the back of the grid having a little bit of trouble, but not unexpected. A super tricky first sector this, especially with so many cars. But Mantas has managed to pull away at the front. It was only a short run down to the first corner, but now Unite putting the second B2R driver under massive pressure there. Upsas out wide, and Unite swings through to take P2. And there's movement in the background as well, as Rick Cardle is under pressure from Joni Katila already. And, the World-Class Lions drivers not hanging around either as Rick goes wide. Championship leader off the track.
Big wide, and now the momentum is against Rick. Yanni will slip in before the next braking zone, and he will occupy 4th place now. So turn 13, I believe that is just passes by. Very tricky part of the circuit, but yeah, Yanni judged that perfectly. Rick will have to rebuild himself in P5, and of course his teammate Gabor, he will be a giant red light to anyone in his way, such as T-Bug, for example. So he's absolutely flying in 13th now.
Absolutely outrageous that he's already up to P13 and we've not even completed one lap yet, and he's overtaking T-Bug currently as well, so he's not hanging around at all. In fact, he's made the move, and T-Bug is trying to get back past, but it's absolutely futile as we watch from the long-range camera here. And yeah, Gabor's having a good time out there, carving his way through the pack.
That's superb start from Gabor. Very good work, and he's already on the back of Soini and
it's crazy.
Left side of him, and he's past. How can you stop this guy?
Blink and you miss it, exactly. I mean, here we go. He's almost in the top 10, and we've not even completed the first lap. Oh, absolutely outrageous. Here's Mantas, who leads ahead of Sidus Unite with Born to Race Upsas up to P3 then, with Rick Cardle having a go back on Joni Katila over start-finish, side by side. And who's going to be in the lead? It's going to be Rick Cardle into the first corner.
Yeah, this is crucial stuff here. Mindful of the curb there on the inside of turn 2. Yeah, it seems like majority of drivers have it under control. But yeah, at the moment, Unite is the threat to Mantas at the moment, breaking up that Born to Race lockout from the opening lap. And now Gabor has his sights on gimme for the top 10. Lorenzo had a slow exit out of the corner in comparison, and now the run down. This will be turn 6 coming up before they next turn to the right and enter the slalom. And there we go, Gabor already P10, and he will not rest until he sees his teammates and the B2R guys.
Yeah, coming into the server late, asking for fuel strategy, and then just annihilating 14 cars in the space of a lap, as Rick has caught up to the back of Upsas, and it's going to be drama into the final sector, I think, because there's going to be a heck of a tow about to be given to Rick Cardle, but he'll have to keep an eye on his mirrors because Joni is still right there.
Yeah, of course, there's no let up whatsoever.
The slipstream is quite powerful with this car, so having 3 cars this close to each other, you can have a very good tow towards.
Yes, the drivers make their way up this massive back straight. It's Upsas who has the advantage. He hasn't given any time away to Rick there as they go over the crest once again, down into the corkscrew. Oh, blimey.
It was a nasty hit, and he's left himself loose. And there we go once again. Yoni overtakes Rick, so these two having a mighty scrap here, and Upsas needs to take advantage of this, try and build up his tire performance and make a break for it, because these two, once they find a resolution to this battle, there's going to be a lot of competition, and it seems like Upsas is in the slipstream, watching out on the inside, and there you go. Yanni has made the move, watching out for the counter, maybe timed it a little too soon. Side by side they go. Mantas fastest lap.
Well, Upsas doing amazingly here to keep Ioni Katila at bay, but it's I don't know if it's futile, but it's great action as we enter lap 3 here on round 11. We knew this one was going to be good, and so far it has not disappointed. We've had action up and down. Gabor's already up to P9. We've got the same leader we had at the start, and it's not a Sidus driver, it's a Born to Race driver, which is always a nice bit of fresh air. But they are coming. Gabor's climbing. Unite's still giving chase, less than a second behind, as Ioni Katila trying to go around the outside, surely not into the sweepers. That is a ridiculous move, Owen. Ridiculous.
Oh no! Oh, Upsas did not want to concede, but I'm afraid...
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, physics have worked against him. And there we go. A genius pass for Ioni Katila. And it was fortunate that the latency held up for his perspective, but obviously Upsas will be livid that he got hard done by there, but he has a chance to fight back, because the battle for third position will not rest whatsoever, so he can still fight back.
Yeah, incredible stuff from Yoni there, but unfortunate contact, has to be said, as Gabor is lining up another world-class Lions victim, and it's going to be a done deal, I think, up into the corkscrew. There's nothing Pekka Koivunen can do here. It's just going to be a slam dunk.
Yeah, the overspeed.
Yeah, Koivunen can hope if he can stuck into the slipstream and try to punish him, but yeah, it's too late. Not long straight enough for that. And Gab was already through, heading down to the corkscrew.
Yeah, job done up to P8 for the man himself. And, well, who's his next target? Well, it's Rayman and Oscar. So, yeah, plenty of meat awaits him. Here's the gap between Mantas just going through your shot and Unite then. And it's grown to over a second. So Mantas is on unreal pace here to hold off Unite, who is absolutely phenomenal in the GTRs generally. And Ioni Katila is making a bit of a gap himself over Rick Cardle. 0.4 of a second over the start-finish line as we head into the first chicane again. We've got side-by-side action here between Tallenberg and Adal. That got close.
It's not over yet. Adal, with the MRC pride on the line, does not fancy a second bite at Tallenberg just yet. Maybe he'll go for a traditional break on the inside line of turn 5, I believe it will be coming up now. Up the hill. Or turn 4, sorry.
Seems like they've settled for that now. Dalhouse getting the lead and Adel keeps following, and they don't want to lose time together fighting each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, on a track like this, you do lose a fair amount of time if you fight each other, but you can gain quite a bit back down the straights if you play your cards right. As Tallenberg quickly realises that, well, that's exactly what has happened there. Switching positions between the teammates. But they do have fresh air between them and the cars in front and behind. Gabor's already got past Rayman. We missed it on the cameras. So how quickly he's eating up his competition here.
Blink it and miss it. You said
Blink
it
and
yourself.
you miss it. Yeah, I did. To be fair, I did say that.
There is a fascinating battle here. It's Yari Katila versus JSK versus Lord Jag. They're all very close to one another. If anything's going to happen, yeah, it seems like Lord Jag is a little loose there. JSK, if anything, could get the move done. And now it loose. Yasin, he's lost the place to Mad Jester. Poor exit out of the slow left-hander, unfortunately. the daunting turn 14. Now they're heading to the sector split line before the corkscrew. So yeah, great competition up and down the field. And yeah, Rony and Soini and Lorenzo. I think Lorenzo's made a mistake in the final sector, so he's lost the position to Teemu Soini.
Yeah, I think MRC should potentially stop anyone else joining the team that has a J and a K in it. But that's just one man's opinion. As we've got someone on wide at the background, off the track. Who was that? It would have been Tallenberg, who's regrouped. JSK on Yari.
And Yasin too.
Yeah, that's
Three
three-way.
Oh, Yari's in that awkward spot. He's not willing to give up the place. Yasin, though, I think had to concede the positions. He was in the worst position of the lot. And Yari, though, he's almost through for sure. Loose again for Yasin. He's given up another position. Lord Jag will be grateful for that. Maybe he's a little bit sympathetic that it was such a simple pass, as Yasin seemingly has burned up his front tires. That's unusual.
Oh, and JSK has a very bad exit. Was that a shifter problem, or what's going on there? He's lost a ton of places, just not able to get the power down. And Lord Jag says thanks very much, straight through. And it looks like JSK is going to lose the place just as easily as he gained it. So it's a shame.
Yeah, Lord Jag is generous to offer the Twitch channel a few bits, but he commented this track is very difficult as a mouse driver.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He has found his pattern, and he's making up some places.
Yeah. As Pekka Koivunen. Oh, was that contact? Yes, it was. Two cars coming into the back of each other, into the fastest part of the track. Pekka got in front of Rayman, and then Rayman just pushes him into the back, into the at the end of the straight. Unusual. And now Rayman's lost a place to Rony, and now Rony is right up the back of Koivunen, and he's going to get through. And well, those two have made a right pickle of that.
Mistake, Lord Jag. Just speaking about him a moment ago, he's lost it in the corkscrew, and all that work he previously achieved is about to disappear. Ruby, one of his other SGR teammates, has made it by, so really disappointing there. Yeah, it's a tough one to take, but he's still in the race.
Pekka fancies a go back at Rony, and he's done it on the straight. Bit of a foreshortened view there, but he's managed to get the place back, so he can resume his charge up through the top 10. As it was a bit funny there, Rayman almost a reverse entry through the first chicane. Yeah, Lord Jag using a mouse. I had no idea he was a mouse driver. He did almost 3 hours of oval racing at Rockingham in the Super GP on Sunday and came third. So fair play if he's using mouse. That's unreal. Yasin comes into the pit lane. This is our first. Actually, there's two cars in the pit lane. That's the first of the drivers who has pitted, we believe. It's T-Bug, the other driver, who's come to a stop. They just need to make 10-second mandatory stop here, and then they can resume on their way. Looks like Yasin is changing tyres, so he's not happy with his tyre load.
Yeah, the fronts were burned. They were really badly burned.
Well, there you go. And T-Bug is on his way as well. Oh, no, he's not. He's still stationary. So that's a very long stop for T-Bug. Drops him all the way to the back. I think he's just putting in too much fuel into that one, gents, because there's no damage and no tyres. And I think the tank's just being filled, or he's retired. I'm not sure what's gone on there, but that's too long.
Yeah, shouldn't really take all that long.
Yeah,
so
possibly on his way to lapping him. Yeah, he must be gone. Yeah, that's how he's gone now. He's going to be lapped.
Well, that's a shame. T-Bug doesn't generally retire in the pit lane. Normally his hand is forced elsewhere on the track. But there we go. Mantas comes around to complete lap 6 of 33 here this evening. And, well, he's having a bit of a lonely race now. 2.6 seconds the gap back to Unite, as Rayman has aborted his race completely. So, yeah, he was having a bit of trouble earlier on, and has decided that enough's enough. He doesn't want to spend another, 40 minutes driving around here? Probably 50 minutes almost left to go. As Gabor has caught up to another victim, and Rick Cardle continues to be pretty close to Yoni Katila. So talk us through this, Miika. You've done the rest of them.
Yeah, so we got another pair of world-class Lions car leading Suicide's car, and this is a much closer one. The Gabor is following Oscar very closely. He seems to be having much more pace, so I suppose this overtake should happen anytime soon. But he left out a little bit too far behind on this kind of straight, a little bit twisty section. Maybe he's just trying to play his overtake somewhere else. He's following very closely and looking for the right spot to do so. His front tires seems to be a little bit burned. I don't know if it's too bad for him. But I was going to still keeps that one.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut away from that one for now, Miika. We'll return to it in a minute because Rick Cardle's got a tow on Yoni Katila as we head up the hill. Yoni going under the pseudonym of True Alpha once again here. But we know him best by his actual name as Rick Cardle goes to the inside. And we'll surely have this done as they make their way through the corkscrew. Yeah, he's made that quite nicely. And we can return our attention then to Gabor as T-Bug is back out on circuit. So whatever was happening to him has been resolved and he's on his way again. As now we will return to Miika's commentary over Gabor's chase on Asker.
Yeah, Gabor had some good tow on the straight, but he was just a bit too far away. Couldn't make the move and wasn't too close on the corkscrew either. But now he's getting back onto the start-finish straight. And yeah, he's still not close enough.
No, he's not. So it's not as easy now that he's at the front of the grid.
Yeah, the guys before him are much faster now. Yeah, Oscar's doing pretty solid job keeping his own pace and not letting Gabor bully him too much. And Gabor's just he's made much bad for his front tires, and now there's a problem for Oscar. A little mistake that cost him a lot, and Gabor dives on the inside and he's taken place. Nothing Oscar can do anymore.
Yeah, job done. Up to P6 then for Gabor as we've got Majesta and Adal coming together. There was a move on, and Adal has completely aborted his run. Oh no, he hasn't. He's
lagging. He's lagging. Or lagging.
That was a poor time to start lagging while there was a move on. So Majesta in P13 then after all of that. Oh, that was a scary moment. Lord Jag heads to the pit lane for his mandatory stop. How long is this going to be? Yeah, a quick stop. Oh, 8.8.
Two-stopper.
Oh, no.
Yeah, too quick.
Too quick. It's a two-stopper, I'm afraid, here for Lord Jag. Hopefully that's intentional.
I doubt it. I think he'll probably have to just pick up the penalty for that one because there's no point going through the pit lane again. And he'll just have to take a time penalty at the end of the race for that. But that's a shame. Only 1 second left. Oh, as the rears light up again. Asker's back on the tail of Gabor, Owen.
Yeah, so Arska does not want to concede anything to Gabor that he doesn't need to. So yeah, he's putting up the fight as best he can. But Gabor using that inside line to good effect, making the typical ability to cool the tires down. And of course, Arska didn't want to follow him, so he doesn't concede the slipstream tow to his opponent either. So yeah, clever driving. But let's see what he does on the start-finish straight, where it mightn't be as easy because of the small sort of curves that do come up on that start-finish straight. But at the moment, yeah, Gabor Solid Eggs does kick up the grass a small bit, but that is perfectly fine. And now we'll check how they all proceed into lap 9.
Yeah, I think Gabor has consolidated that. He's solidly now in P6 as he heads over start-finish. And Adal, after, his connection seems to have stabilised. He's regrouped and has just got back past Majesta, though Majesta had a bit of a wobble at the corkscrew, so we hear. And is that Tallenberg up ahead? It is. So those two could catch up to Tallenberg. Majesta was already battling him before the corkscrew, so that's probably going to happen again.
Yeah, Mantas is threatening to pull out a lead of nearly 4 seconds. He's at 3.6 over Unite at the moment, so yeah, extremely strong run for our leader. He just continues to pull out those incredible lap times, and I'm sure his strategy will be to keep out on track for as long as possible. Certainly go probably into lap 20 thereabouts if he keeps the tires in good shape, and maybe wants to go very, very deep into the stint, hoping that no one can undercut him.
Yeah, I mean, being the what was I going to say? Being the I completely forgot my line of thought. That's amazing. I'll come back to me, and I'll get you on that one later. Lord Jack's back in the pits, so he's decided he doesn't want to take that time penalty at the end. He just wants to finish legitimately without any penalties. So carries on, and there we go. Back on his way. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so back to Mantas, Eoin, as I regain my concentration a little bit. There's fuel strategy that's going to be coming into play here. Mantas is one for pitting to refuel, so it's potentially the case that he has started with less fuel and therefore has less weight to carry around, and that comes with a pace advantage. Unite's struggling a little bit here against his teammate. Definitely dropped back into the clutches of Rick Cardle now.
That's right, yeah, comparing lap times, yeah, that's half a second gone for Unite in just that one lap, and with a lap time of over 2 minutes, it is a sizable difference, and that's the opportunity that Rick has been waiting for. He gets P2. Unite won't give up though. His exit out of turn 4 was great, I have to be honest there, really well done, even if he had lost the position in that same corner. So he has a chance to fight back. He's going to keep it respectful with his teammate, but he's got to launch it perhaps into turn 14. He has to wait a long time to get to turn 14, but that is probably the best chance if he can stay close to his teammate Rick.
Yeah, as we watch from the top down, that was Unite just losing grip on P2, and I don't know whether Rick Cardle's just turned up the wick or his tyres have reached heat peak or something, but that was quite easy by the looks of it. And Unite's dropped some way back and drives off the track in sympathy.
Not to forget, there's Joni Katila just behind him as well, and he might be looking for this third position quite soon.
Yeah, I never forget about Joni Katila, don't worry, Miika.
We never.
The drivers certainly never forget. As we follow them up the hill once again. Yeah, you're right. I think Joni could be in a good position before maybe even start-finish at this rate.
Yeah, it's all up to Unite. He wants to pick up the pace a little bit. He's losing to Ricardo and getting caught by Joni Katila, so that's not very favorable for him right now.
Adal has unfortunately timed out from the race, so that will be the end of his efforts towards the front of the grid. But had plenty of fights, but unfortunately just not to be at the end of this one for him. But Joni trying to make headway on Unite on the home straight, and isn't quite in the slipstream then, so he'll have to try it somewhere else on the lap. Battles further back. Majesta has caught back up to Tallenberg, but not able to make the move into the corkscrew. Oh, but Tallenberg goes off. And that's an easy
wrong, I'm afraid.
Yeah. It's as quick as it goes. It's so difficult, that downhill. But Majesta just had it hooked up. At the end of this lap, we're going to be a third of the way through the race, Owen.
Yeah, it's flown by, it must be said. Mantas just continues to dominate a 4.6 second lead now. It's not been too long. Christie for SGR also about to be lapped. He's currently second to last. He'll be lapped again. I think this will be the second time he's been blue flagged. So
Upson has spun out. No, Upson just spun, and that allows Carver to just pass him. That's a very rare mistake from Upson.
That's a big one as well. He's been into the wall hard. I was just about to comment that the camouflage paint on Christie's car hides the damage well. Well, the Born to Race livery certainly doesn't hide the damage. Look at the front end of that. That's been into the wall pretty hard on the right-hand side. As we have an unlapping happening here, potentially. T-Bug's trying to go for it around on Jari Katila.
I certainly hope he's taking it
Oh
careful.
my God!
And he's just dived. Oh,
whoa!
Goodness. Scary stuff.
None of us expected that, clearly. I don't think T-Bug expected that.
Greatest unlapping of all time, that.
Well,
has to be up there.
Jari Katila might disagree with you. We'll have to ask him later, blimey.
Yeah, very unorthodox move here. And that leaves Jari Katila just before JSK, who's just looking to overtake him now.
Yeah, Johnny SVK is JSK as a matter of fact.
Okay, so he's joined. Has he joined MRC? Is this a new hire?
Could
because
be.
They should have thought that through. Oh, change your name. Anyway, not my decision.
Anyway, it's Jari Katila's just behind T-Bug now, and T-Bug's gone wide and letting them both go past right now.
Yoni's fighting with Unite. As we lose Upsas from the race, he's completely aborted. He's left the race, and Joni Katila's made the move on Unite. Unite's really struggling. He's dropped from P2 all the way down off the podium now. Drops into the dirty air of Joni Katila and gets forced out wide as well. Well, yeah, from bad to worse. But Yoni up to P3 for World Class Lines there. I do like the World Class Lines livery. I've always loved an asymmetric design, and that one is really nice.
Yeah, it's sensational. Yeah, really, really solid job there. Yeah, we need to see more for Yanni, as he has made the pass on Unite. I think that must have been this lap. Yes, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at different people rather than my broadcast. So, yeah, that makes sense now. So, yeah, we have a World Class Lions on the podium, and there could potentially be Erskine, Koivunen, and Soini entering the top 10 if they keep up this form. Yeah, they're all there at the moment, so they need to keep going, of course.
Up the hill and into the corkscrew comes Gabor at a rate of knots. Yeah, I'm now starting to imitate cars. That's the stage that I'm at with my with my evening. As Gabor drops down into the corkscrew, lovely stuff.
Yeah, just so clean. Gabor's always this is stage of the race where he's all on his own. No one pushing from behind and no one just in front of him. So he's just taking his time to push those laps as quick as he can. So that's you can see him doing any cleaner laps than this right now.
Mantas makes his way up to the first hairpin, starting lap 13 now for the Born to Race outfit, and he's 4.3 seconds. He's still got more traffic to navigate. Who's that up ahead of him? I think it looks like is that Lord Jag or is it Hermanni? I think it's Hermanni. As we head down to the sweepers once again, he looks very, very comfortable in the lead of this race. It has to be said, Hermione gets well out of the way, well offline there.
Yeah, Mantas absolutely at one with the car and the circuit at the moment, and no one is really able to take significant time out of his lead. It just keeps stable, or else it grows segment by segment. So yeah, really, really incredible showing for Mantas at the moment.
Ricardo, though, on the second place, doing very solid job as well, having the fastest lap at the moment. He's not having a bad race either.
No, there's plenty of individual stories. As with every race, it's impossible to think of all the different permutations. As we've got Johnny SVK and Yari. This is going to get super confusing. But yeah, Johnny's rather messed that one up and spins out a little bit. Well, half spin, manages to catch it. Fair play. Johnny, Yoni, and Yari. Help me.
We need a couple more names starting with J.
No,
just to make it harder
end
for
it.
us.
No more. Oh, Yari. What are you doing?
He's left himself a little bit exposed here. And Johnny...
He just wants to add to my misery. That's what he wants to do.
He thought that was too easy, so he needs to fight.
We're going to turn up to RTFR next week, Owen, and everybody's going to have a name that begins with J. You watch.
You've just spoken into existence.
Speak and it shall happen, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully not. As Mantas makes his way past Lord Jag as well. And dispatching of the back markers pretty quickly. Rick Cardle has the fastest lap now, which is interesting. Potentially coming to the end of the fuel as we go back to, I want to call him Johnny Catilla, just for fun.
They could add up to as one of those.
Well, we've literally got JSRK, JCat, and JSK now. It's getting out of hand in the Master Race Car World Class Lions camp, and JSK is in the slipstream of JCat. Take me outside, Owen.
Well, I'll have to virtually get you out of your seat, because here comes the attack with the outside line. Oh, contact! And Johnny may have overcooked it. Yeah, the third chicane.
Oh, beautiful.
And
who's that?
That's Christie.
Christie as well.
Oh.
He needs to build up, but giving a bit of spice here.
T-Bug gets through, so he has unlapped himself again.
Yeah, he's unlapped himself on Christie there. That was actually an overtake for position.
Yeah, position, yes.
So Christie now at the back with that spin. Synchronised spinning through the first corner for Christie and Johnny SVK. But even though Rick Cardle had the fastest lap, he's made a mistake on the previous one. He's lost 0.6 of a second in the last lap over Mantas. So doesn't have the consistency that Mantas has on display here at the moment, does Rick. So let's see. Yeah, Mantas takes the fastest lap. Let's see if Rick can steal it back from him. All the drivers now starting to burn away that fuel, but no, Mantas has got the measure. The gap now 5 seconds between the top two. Unbelievable pace.
Yeah, and behind that's also Joni Katila taking his fastest lap of the race and catching up to Ricardo slide. So he might be challenging for the second place quite soon.
Yeah, you're right. He's definitely catching up, isn't he? How big's the gap? 1.91 seconds between Yoni and Rick, as Lord Jag spectates, unfortunately. So how many SGR drivers does that leave us with? 3 of the 5 that started. As we continue to watch Yoni Katila work his way through the sweeping corners, a lovely set of sweeping corners through the middle of the lap here at Aston. Always a treat to watch the cars flying down here. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's just very picturesque in the foreground and the background. Good combination wherever you look here at Aston. And Joni is just pushing whatever he can extract out of his car. Let's check out another battle a bit further down the grid. Let's see what it is. And Johnny does pit, so Johnny is pitting. That should be a standard enough. Refuel, I'd imagine.
It's quite long, no? How long was that?
Oh,
that was...
10.11.
Oh, yeah, well done there for Johnny SVK. Fastest pit stop of the race that was legal, we should add. Fastest pit stop, I think, goes to Lord Jag, who did 2, and the second one was only a couple of seconds long. So, yeah, Johnny SVK doing a decent job there.
Another fastest lap for Mantas. And yeah, I think the fact that Rick briefly took it away from him, I think that just forced a response. Rick can now no longer answer, and that's a wide of minimal consequence, but still risky enough as Joni Katila is just pushing as hard as he can to try and put the pressure on Rick, who's now noticed how deeply he's losing time to Mantas, and yeah, he just has to figure something out, maybe call an audible on a strategy.
Chris just said in our ears that Joni Katila got a PB that lap, and it still wasn't faster than Mantas's fastest lap.
He was left 300ths of a second from Mantas, so they're on an equal pace right now.
Oscar pits and rejoins as another world-class Lions car spawns in. Is that Soini having connection problems? Well, that doesn't happen very often, which now means I'm worrying for Miika, because he is one of your countrymen, Miika, so hopefully your connection stays as well.
Yeah, I should be all good.
Finally just left the race, unfortunately.
Fiber here.
Well, sometimes fiber isn't enough to keep away the gremlins of international routing. We've got SGR versus World Class Lions. It's Mad Jester versus Pekka Koivunen. Mad Jester has had a lot of airtime here during this race, overtaking people, and he's had his fair share of injuries as well. But let's see what happens here and see if he can make quick work of the WCL driver. Currently in P10, so this would be cementing a top 10 if he can keep it.
It's a solid race from Manchester. I think he started at the P18. Of course, there's been some retirements, but he's also overtaken some people. So climbing to top 10, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's got a couple of drivers ahead of him who've already stopped. Pekka Koivunen is one of them, which is a little bit unusual. So this may be a bit of an artificial battle, because Mad Jester, if he does get through, will still have to stop again. And Rick gets the fastest lap, so these two really are running out of fuel. And I do wonder when they're going to be coming into the pit lane as we continue to watch these two battle up the back straight. Like I said, doesn't really mean a lot, this, but there you go. Nice move around the outside for Mad Jester, who assumedly has less fuel on board than Pekka. But still, nice overtake. Tricky to get it done around the outside there.
Yeah, courageous pass there. If he is low on fuel, then this is his time to put in his best lap times and give Pekka something to think about.
Yeah, he could do the overcut,
of course,
couldn't he?
Yeah, he could possibly threaten them near the end if his pit stop goes to plan. So, yeah, as we still see on the timing tower, it's a kind of a split, kind of a 66-33% split on who's pitted and who is still out on track.
I just noticed that Garber has also finally found a very good pace. He's pretty much equal to Mantas. I mean, he was
know what you
like
mean, I
half
know
a
what you
second,
mean, I
one
know what
second
you
off the
mean, yeah.
pace. But he's basically as fast as Mantas and Ricardo right now, which means he's catching up Unite quite quick. And, well, that's gonna be...
Yeah, well, 16 seconds off the lead. How long does it take to do a pit stop? I mean, I know it doesn't really matter. Gabor has to make up 17 seconds in, well, about, how many laps we got left? About 17 laps? Pretty much halfway. So, yeah, that is a long shot. But we've seen weirder things. If Gabor stays consistent and the others make a mistake, look at that. Look at the poise that he has down the corkscrew. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
Let's see, I mean, there's still how his lap time is gonna turn out. So he comes out from the last corner and towards the finish straight, which is a long stretch still, until we get the time here. Of course, he's not gonna decide to pit right now, is he?
Unite
Oh,
pits
he-
though,
he's-
Miika. This is big
Interesting.
because
yeah,
Unite's
true.
been losing time.
That's 2:19.03 for Gabor, which is also his PB again, and yeah, he's just pushing as fast as he can right now.
It's a decent stop, I think, from Unite. 10.4. So not the fastest, but good enough. And Unite will continue on his way. And is the first of our leaders, I think, who has pitted. So where does he come out? I think he's going to be cleanly ahead of anyone else who's stopped because his pace has been pretty high. And interestingly, yes, no, he does. He rejoins ahead of Rony. So retakes P5 as we return to watch Gabor. And let's keep an eye on his pace then, and keep an eye on his sector times. Yeah, lapping basically similar pace as you said, Miika, to Mantas. So not making gains, but not losing any time either. Rick's got traffic and he's going wide around one of the air attack cars there. That's Yasin. In fact, it's the only air attack car in the race. So, and Yoni's got through as well. Nice and easy. All right.
See what difference that wide has made to Rick's pace. The sector line is just at the end of the straight, so we'll know exactly what's going on there. Lorenzo has performed a tire and refuel, so he'll come back out on the track mid-pack. Yeah, let's see the split times. Yes, that's a probably 7/10 cut in the gap in favor of Yanni there. So this is big now. If Rick is planning to pit, he's certainly given Yanni Catilla the impetus he needs to really push on and threaten the podium position or the runners-up position, I should say. Ruby pits as well.
Yeah, takes the first pit box. Yeah, Rick's in as well. There he goes. And there's a flurry of activity. 3 cars down pit lane then.
Oh, race leader, yes. Mantas pits as well.
So Yanni Catilla takes over the lead of the race temporarily. But yeah, Mantas is in. Rick Cardle is in. So when will Yanni come in? Because if Yanni has fuel to spare, he could just stay out and make up time.
Oh, Mantas changed his tires, Pete and Miika. So he's spent double the amount of time stationary than Rick did. So this is massive.
Yeah, that's massive in 2 ways. If that was deliberate, then are the other drivers worried? Or was that an accident? Because has anybody else from the lead changed tyres yet? Don't think so.
Not.
That seems strange to me, and Mantas may have just gifted the win to someone else with that.
Yeah.
Let's see if it becomes an issue towards the end for other drivers. I didn't think the race was long enough for it to be a problem, but maybe it is. Maybe a tyre change is the way to go. Mantas has taken us a little bit by surprise there.
I was looking like Garber's tires seem to be quite dead. I'm not sure if they will carry until the end. But let's see. Well, we'll find out if Garber is gonna change his tires in the couple next laps when he needs to pit, or if he's gonna try and squeeze them to the end. But yeah, that's quite surprising that Mantas was the first to decide to change the tires.
Well, I've just noticed that Trespasser is in the chat asking all the right questions, so I'm pretty sure we're going to get the answer we're looking for pretty soon. Trespasser is pretty good at kind of uncovering the strategy calls of the drivers, so we wait in anticipation to see what he comes up with. As Tallenberg comes into the pit lane to make his mandatory stop. Been in the walls that car, but there we go. Pulls away.
Oh, he changed us as well. Front tires, it seems. Now this is getting interesting.
Yeah, Yoni stays out, so this is even more interesting now. The drivers who've come in will have put some fuel in, undoubtedly, but Yoni stays out, implying he had more fuel than the other drivers, and therefore was sandbagging. I like a bit of sandbagging.
Well, he's put out the fastest lap now.
Yeah, sandbags are out.
Gabor's response to 218.85, so that's certainly respectable, but yeah, he has lost 0.4 of a second that lap as Yasin pulls way over to the right hand side to allow himself to be lapped nice and safely. So there we go. Ricardo Lamantas, we won't get representative times until this time around, so we'll have to observe to see how they're getting on after their service was completed.
All right. Gabor is on a mission. He has something to prove here.
Yeah, I'm counting Gabor being 27 seconds ahead of Unite, which might seal his pass on Unite during the pit stop. But of course we'll see after Gabor pits how it turns out. Also, Mantis is only like for almost 5 seconds ahead of Unite, so Gabor could get quite close to Mantis even after the pits.
Yeah, he stays out once more. Doesn't come into the pits for any fuel, so he's quite content doing laps. But Yoni is still getting the fastest laps.
Yeah, and Gabor was just 100th of a second slower than Yoni on the
Well, crucially,
laps,
he was slower, Miika.
Yeah. So small margins, but they are lapping great laps right now. They are doing awesome job, and they're gonna win a lot on the pit game, I believe, if they can keep up that pace.
Right, Trespasser has spoken. He reckons that the race will be around about an hour and 16 minutes if they keep this pace up, and therefore he believes that they will be needing some tyres. So anybody who's been in the pit lane and hasn't changed tyres might be running the risk of a puncture at the end, which always sends excitement through my body, Owen.
Yeah, we certainly do remember previous times at Aston on last laps where people got punctures. I think Sean Lee was one of them. He got all corners punctured. He didn't want to pit until it was too little too late. So that was one example. The point that I'd like to bring up is Rick and Mantas both lapped in 2 minute 20. So they're still needing to get up to speed with their heavier fuel loads, etc. So yeah, this is the best chance of all for Yoni and Gabor to potentially challenge for outside shot of the victory or second place. Mad Jester undershoots his pit stop there, so he has to do it all over again.
Yeah, he'll be annoyed about that. He was making good progress there as well. He still resumes in P10, and imagine what it would have been how he would have felt if he'd have actually stopped for the required amount of time. But yeah, unfortunate there, really. Has to make a decision now. Does he take the time penalty or does he go through the pit lane again? I know which I'd probably choose in that case, and I'd probably just take the penalty, but there we are. All right, the lay of the land. Yoni Katilla leads on lap 21 ahead of Gabor. Neither of those two have stopped. Rick Cardle has not changed his tyres, and Mantas has. That's why their order is reversed. So Rick Cardle thinks he can make it to the end on the same pair of tyres, and Mantas does not. That's fascinating. That's going to be interesting in about 10 laps' time.
Got that Gabor taking the fastest lap. 2:18 and 39.
Whatever, I've seen better.
Of course you have.
I'm pulling your leg, of course. Yeah, Gabor started at the back. Didn't really do any practice, we don't think. Unless he was offline. I mean, he might have been offline, we never know. Could be an act. I'm just giving him a hard time. It's quite enjoyable. But yeah, fair play. Fastest lap for Gabor currently. But still 11.6 seconds off Yoni. And the fact that these two have stayed out so long, I reckon they could have a chance at leapfrogging Rick Cardle and Mantas. Because as you said, the lap times have been about a second between them with the cars just leaving the pits, especially Mantas, who's got to warm up tyres.
Yeah, it's about 2 seconds a lap.
2? Okay, wow,
quicker,
amazing.
yeah, for Yoni compared to Rick. And Mantas actually dipped into the 221s there, so yeah, he has even more work to do on his fresher tyres, but they're obviously colder at this stage.
Yeah, an incredible amount of time being lost by those drivers who went in. Yeah, we have got a spectacle in our hands. This is a little bit of a different race than we're used to. We haven't seen a race where the strategy is going to come into play as much of this in quite a while in RTFR XL, and I think the reason that's just dawned on me is because this is such a fast track. The cars are doing a lot of distance today.
Yeah, not seen that much of a tactical game this year, but this is a very great combo. It brings whole another excitement. It's just not about who's the fastest, but who's now this correct strategy as well. So it's a very exciting. As Yoni Katilla still carries on. I wonder if he started on like 100% fuel.
Well, Trespasser did say that was the ultimate strategy. He said it would be best to start with max fuel. And Trespasser knows his stuff, generally. And so, yeah, let's see. Well, they must have started with pretty much maximum fuel, because it doesn't last much over an hour. And we've been driving for 52 minutes-ish now, this race. Started at 10 past the hour. It's now 2 past the hour. Yeah, I mean, RTFR XL is definitely not a sprint race. It's definitely in that middle category. When you have to go over a stint with a GTR car, you know that you're in for an exciting evening. And we're still watching Yoni Katilla because he's got the measure of this car at the moment, and he's holding Gabor's pace as well. Clearly, he's got the fastest lap, but there we go. And look at that now. The gap between Rick Cardle and the race leader is now 31 seconds.
Oh, that's getting very exciting.
Yeah, that's certainly pit stop time territory, just a little bit more.
Yeah, but
is
it with
the
tyres?
job done? But that's, of course, yeah, he will be on the heavier fuel load when he rejoins the track. So that's how Rick and Mantas will gain their time back.
Well, they won't gain any time back because he should have the same fuel.
Yeah,
when he comes out of the
equalise
pits.
on fuel. Yeah, that's true.
So let's see.
Also, Gabor is very likely to jump Mantas, so Gabor
that's
up
unreal.
the podium.
Yeah, that's unreal. If
mistake
Gabor...
for Yoni, just cuts the corner for the.
Oh, come on! Don't do that to me. We just watched him for 3 laps.
Oh, now he's way
there
off.
we go.
Is it a puncture? It is.
It's a puncture. 23 laps
already.
in. Are you joking? Already.
Oh,
so the
that
other
means
drivers...
Gabor has to change tyres because Gabor's tyre is going to go anytime soon.
Rick Cardle has to change as well. He has to come in again. There's no way.
Rick Cardle seems very good on tyres, but Gabor is very much out of tyres right now.
That's unbelievable. If Rick Cardle can make it last. Gabor's off as well.
In the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall. That's a puncture as well. Gabor's got a puncture.
No, he's
double front puncture.
Wow.
Well, surprise,
it's
surprise. It happened so much earlier than any of us expected. We weren't paying attention enough to that, but they're on R3 tyres, so they've burnt through the fronts in record speed. There goes Rick Cardle, who will be starting to sweat, no doubt. I mean, whoa, Rick Cardle through, and Yoni in the pit lane. He didn't lose as much time as Gabor. Gabor's lost a ton of time, and surely is now out of the running for the win. Absolutely, completely out of the running. He'll have to come down the pit lane. And he's trying to slow it down. You can see the tyres screaming. Oh, he's just about made
wow.
it.
And that's also Mandas flying by already. So,
well,
Gabor and Yoni, they are.
Yeah, but Yoni's made it out the pits.
Yoni's made already. He didn't lose as much. But Gabor, he's lost a lot.
Well, we've seen Yoni do this before, and we've seen him do it at the final corner, have a double tyre blowout, and beat Isaac Price to the win at West Hill. And now Yoni Katilla's had a double blowout and still manages to get out the pits ahead of Mantas.
Yoni only lost one, but that was Gabor having both.
Yeah. Wow. Insane pace. Mantas has got to start pushing now.
Also, Rony's got past Gabor. He lost that much as he went all the way to the wall.
Oh, credit where credit's due. Who hasn't changed tyres now? Rony still needs to pit, so he hasn't changed tyres. How are his tyres doing? What's he got on the front?
He's got R3 on the front.
Yeah, hasn't changed tyres.
Rick has still not changed tyres. He's going to be a sweaty boy. And his rears are looking pretty terrible. Front tyre-wise, Rick Cardle's all right. Unite hasn't changed tyres, so he's probably in trouble as well. Expect more fireworks in the next 10 laps, ladies and gents. Jari Katila hasn't been in the pits yet. Aska hasn't changed tyres. Pekka hasn't changed tyres. Many things are about to run.
Lorenzo only changed front tyres, and his rear tyres aren't looking that good right now.
Oh, don't you love it when the drivers haven't done any prep?
Yeah. Oh, Manchester didn't change tyres, but he had way too slow. Fast stop anyway. He needs to pit again.
Well, he doesn't have to, but he probably will. Probably be forced to.
He might want to.
Yeah, he might want to do that. Owen, have you caught your breath yet?
No, I haven't. No. There's just so many scenarios going through my head right now. It is exceptional stuff. But yeah, Mantas probably feeling a little bit more comfortable now, knowing that his decision to pit for the tyres and refuel has worked out nicely in one respect, I suppose.
Oh, and that's Ruby just spinning out after getting passed by Talon.
Yeah,
Talon's made a move past him and he's lost it.
Just looped the car on the grass. Well, easily done. We've all been there, don't worry. But yeah, here we go. Yoni Katila now has to hope then that Rick Cardle has not predicted the amount of tyre wear that he's going to have gone through with that setup, because he's got quite a gap to make up, and it's going to be tricky to make up 5 seconds with fresh rubber on a driver who's got some aged tyres on. But how much rubber does Rick Cardle have left on that machine?
Not much.
No, it is wearing down.
But maybe enough.
I don't like your confident. Well, you don't sound very confident there, Miika. Maybe enough. We've got a lot of laps left here. 8 laps, including this one.
I mean, I remember seeing like Gabor's tires in that condition, and they wore out quite quick after that. So I'm not confident anymore.
Well, that was 3 corners for you to change your mind. So that must be pretty severe situation going on with Rick Cardle. Well, the gap between Mantas and Yoni is only just over a second as well. So that's a pretty close battle. And Mantas has had the pace since the get-go. In fact, it's not over a second, is it? It's 5.9 seconds, the gap between Mantas and Yoni.
Look at the gap coming down.
Oh, no, it's not going to be anymore. Oh, that was so close. I'm surprised that Mantas managed to keep that on the road.
Yoni's just caught up Ricardo by half a second there in span of half a lap. So
It's Christie off at the final corner, causing yellow flags out on circuit, so that's probably going to be a retirement. That car certainly worse to wear. Jari Katilla's been in the pit lane and hasn't changed tyres. Well, clearly hasn't heard his son saying, "Oh damn, my tyres have gone pop."
Yeah, Jani Katila was 6/10 of a second faster than Ricciardo on the last lap. I wonder if that's just Ricciardo taking careful and saving his tires, or is that just Jani being so fast right now?
Well, Rick can't be that careful because he'll have to do some battling in a minute. Here's the gap. That is all that is between Ricciardo, who's not changed tyres, and Jani, who has. Okay. Rony's going in the pit lane. Rony is changing tyres. What a sensible man.
Yeah, he's seen the other guys having punctures, so...
So yeah, I'll take some of that action.
Yeah, he wants to miss those punctures.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have any of that nonsense going on. 16.3 second stop for Rony, and he will rejoin in P7, so a good effort there. Just ahead of Pekka Koivunen and his teammate Lorenzo, as we are watching intently over Rick Cardle to see how long that car can hold on to its current set of tyres. 4 seconds now separates him from Jani Katila, and at the end of this lap we're going to have what is that, six laps to go? 7 laps? 7 laps to go. So yeah, quite remarkable. And I don't know if he can do it. Only Rick Cardle knows. Maybe he doesn't even know.
Yeah, he might cut it close.
He'll be either way. He'll be gutted to have to go down the pit lane again, if he has to. Because we kind of ruled Rick Cardle out at the beginning. He didn't have the pace on the others, but you know, this has turned into more of a strategic race than maybe we build it for.
Yeah, I'd certainly go with that, Pete. It seemed like because of how commonly rerun GT2 cars around this track, it seemed, yeah, that people would just, follow a conventional route, but far from it. We have had a remarkable amount of converging strategies.
Yeah, we have indeed. That's the gap between your top 4. It's pretty vast at this point in the race, but there is going to be some drama somewhere out on circuit in the next 10 minutes. Guaranteed here.
Yeah, and Gabriel just lapped 1 second quicker than anyone in front of him. So he's trying his best to climb up and maybe go on Unat at least.
Yeah, well, that car was stationary in the back of a gravel trap 15 minutes ago. And to have a shot at a podium, potentially, it's not something I thought I'd be saying, especially since he started at the back and then had a crash and a double front blowout and then had to go down the pits again. Remarkable pace from Gabor, as usual.
Also, let's not forget that Unite didn't change tires, so he's
that's what I mean.
As scary as
That's what I
Ricardo.
meant.
Yeah.
Potentially a podium for Gabor, even after all of that nonsense. If Unite and Rick can't make it to the end on their rubber, but to be fair, they look fairly confident at the moment. They've seen all of the drama happen, so unless it's just they're kind of closing their eyes every time they move the steering wheel, not really sure. Left rear tyre, Chris says, for Rick Cardle. So Rick starts to flash the lights to the car in front, but the left rear is the tyre that Chris has identified as a potential problem on Rick Cardle's car.
It seems worse for him, whereas for the others, the front tyres were the issue. So Ricardo is doing something different.
Rick will grab a slipstream from this here back marker. That's the Master Race Car's new signing, Johnny SVK. So there we are.
He's got more to deal with ahead though because of Yari, and I think that would be T-Bug. Yeah, T-Bug not in a battle for position, but they're together on the circuit once again. But this is bad news for Rick if they're coming to blows on this extremely quick section of the track. Watch this camera now. Here they come. Wow. So yeah, they're going neck and neck for probably a bit of dignity, more so, as he tries to trick again. Does T-Bug.
Yeah, Yari Katilla's wise to that move now. He's not going to be allowed to do it twice. Around the outside into there is cheeky enough once, especially when there was contact the first time round. Yari's like, no, I'm not letting you do that one again. As T-Bug has lifted off to allow Rick Cardle through, and now T-Bug can be cheeky and try, if he can, to follow Rick through. But Rick's just so fast, unbelievable. Crazy pace. So Yari's going to let him through at a sensible point, and then can resume the fight with T-Bug. We'll spare Rick some blushes for a bit. We'll give him a couple more laps and then see if that tyre's still hanging on. But I expect to hear either Miika or Eoin or Chris, indeed, in my ear shouting, "Rick's had a crash! Rick's had a crash!"
I'm just waiting for that moment as well. His star seems so bad.
This isn't our first rodeo. We've seen this episode before.
Oh, that's Matt Jester. There's Matt Jester.
What are you doing?
He's clearly slid way out after the corkscrew, and he's going to dip further and further behind. But that is Yoni Katilla. He's now got a chance to duck and weave through the traffic.
But he's got to be careful. Yeah, that wasn't the best place to meet back markers. That was T-Bug there. No, sorry, that was Johnny SVK. T-Bug's up ahead now. Not the best place to meet traffic there. Uncomfortable at the best of times. So he will have lost a bit of time there, but Rick Cardle stays out. Good for him to start lap 29. 5 laps to go here, and 5 laps for that the rear tyres of Rick Cardle's car to give him some rubber to get to the end. Huge puff of smoke through the first corner there from somebody. Someone getting it all wrong. But yeah, what are we going to witness here?
He's going very slow. He's lapping very slow laps, so I guess he's saving his stars very much. And Gar was just taking 2 to 3 seconds every lap, so he's probably just trying to challenge Unite, even though he didn't have to pit. Oh, this can turn out very interesting in the last laps.
Is this camera angle making you a little bit uncomfortable, Miika?
Yeah, slightly. But at least this way, if his tires will give up, we'll catch it and see it live on the broadcast.
It does feel like one of those videos that you watch when you know something is about to go horribly wrong at the end of it. I know what you feel. I know what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Can he do it? So far, so good. But
after all, he is Ricardo.
I need Chris's opinion. Chris's opinion is very good. It's not looking great. Diagnosis isn't good from Chris.
I agree him very much.
Oh, this is scary now. Oh, brilliant stuff, Rick. Keeping us on the edge of our seats. I'm pretty sure he's also on the edge of his seat. Doesn't want to bring it in the pits. What's the point? You might as well risk it, right? It's not going to be a podium if he does, probably.
Yeah, it's all or nothing for him right now.
Just about. Eoin, how you feeling, mate?
Yeah, it is tough, alright. I'm trying to hang on in there as a mere commentator, but yeah, it is. Perhaps Rick, knowing that the title is all but his at this stage, he probably just wants to have a final bit of double or quits to see how he gets on with these tyres, and if he can win to make absolutely certain.
Oh, he doesn't care.
He is the number one. Yeah, he probably doesn't mind.
Care. He's sliding through there. Like, it's all or nothing for Rick Cardle. Yeah, generally, if Chris tells me that there's a tyre about to go, I believe him. So I think that's it. So it's going to happen at some point. The sidewall is now thicker than the tread, apparently. Oh my.
Other than this United's tires, which are all slightly thicker, but they are cold as ice. So that's not very optimal either.
While we just to soften the mood a little bit, and to take your mind off the fact that there's going to be a hideous accident at some point in the next 3 laps, it might sound unrealistic that we're talking about tyre tread and tyre depth, but if you had a window into the SD card of Chris's SLR camera, you'd see that most of it is full of pictures of fuel in fuel tanks from go-karts, because that's all Chris does. He tells our drivers if they've got fuel left. So he's pretty used to taking close-up photos of fast-moving objects, mainly for fuel levels, but I can imagine checking the life of a tyre would be somewhat more difficult. But yeah, it's easy to spot a puncture. It's not so easy to spot how much rubber you've got left on a tyre, but Rick Cardle there, look, he just doesn't care. Sliding straight through there.
He's pushing as fast as he can.
I mean, this is crazy. We've got 3 laps to go at the end of this one.
Another accident for Mad Jester
Okay.
at the corkscrew, this time before the corner.
And that's Tebow going off as well. To avoid, probably.
So damage across the suspension on all sides here for Mad Jester, so I'm afraid he may risk burning out his rear tyres and making them undrivable rather than getting a puncture. 3 to go. Rick is hanging in there.
Yeah, but for how much longer? Seriously, if he makes it to the end here, then well, we're not worth what they're paying us, Owen. If he makes it to the end.
Yeah, there's also Oscar who hasn't changed tires, and his rears aren't looking that good either, so he might be the one to go as well.
This is turned from race commentary into biting our fingernails and hoping that all the cars finish, which is unusual.
United. Less than 4 seconds behind United.
This is so painful. I mean, it's a lot of load going through the car there, and he's able to keep the pace up relatively well. 3.6 seconds now to Yoni. You can see how close we've got here. We've got Yari Catella's going in the pit lane because he's got 2 front punctures, so he's run out of tyres on the fronts. So Yari's going in.
Yeah, like father, like son there. Almost.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. Yari did the double and Yoni did the single.
Yeah.
And that's Yari in the pits as we return the cameras squarely trained on Rick Cardle. Unbelievable. I mean, I have a feeling, and I've had to dig quite deep into the archives of my brain here. I have a feeling that we've seen Rick Cardle do this before and has survived. Am I wrong? Can anyone else remember that from yesteryear? I feel like Rick Cardle is one of the drivers who's done this before. But surely not. Surely not.
I recall him being close before.
Look at the
I
load
don't think this close.
Yeah. Well, at the end of this lap, it's 2 to go. Well, he's doing something right.
Yeah, it's definitely Kimi Räikkönen at the Nürburgring 2005 vibes here.
Oh, don't remind me of that.
I'm
You've
sorry,
just reminded
Miika,
the Finn in the
so
channel
much.
about that. You've
I'm sorry, Miika. I know that's fun.
It's brutal. Friends don't do that to friends, Owen.
I'm sorry.
I almost cried.
But it was like James Allen. He was just shouting, "Oh, it's gonna happen! It's gonna happen! I told you. You should have pitted."
Well, if your chips are down, then good luck to you, because Rick Cardle is staying out. Look at that. Look at the amount of black stuff that just went down on the road with that slide, and still the tyre hangs on. This is unbelievable. He's brave. It's gone. Left front. Sorry, left rear is gone. You can see that the suspension has dropped down.
Rear left. Yeah.
There we go.
And that's going to be a long lap for Rick Cardle.
Oh,
It's
no.
such a shame.
And
That's
there
such a
comes Johnny
shame.
Catilla and takes the lead.
Well, not yet, mate.
Well, anytime soon. He's
Yeah.
so close. I'm going so
by
much
these
faster.
sweepers. He's
And
got
here we go. Here we go.
Slidey slide.
Oh no!
You just can't keep it. Also, we got Gabor going on Unite.
It's going to be a
Right
painful
now.
lap, this. Yeah, Gabor is also having a go at Unite, as you said. Unite's tyres are fine. We think... Well, did he change tyres?
No, he
No,
didn't.
he didn't. He didn't
They
change
are called
tyres.
as ice. So,
They're cold, but they're fine. They've got plenty of life on them.
yeah, he should be able to finish with those, but he's been
So-
so slow the past laps after
The thing to keep
pits.
an eye on now, then, Miika, is where is Rick Cardle on the track, and will Gabor get a podium out of this race? If he does, after everything
He
that's
goes
happened,
around the outside.
He probably will.
ridiculous move.
Whoa. Heavens me. Oh,
Oh, we've been treated to some
Yeah,
fantastic races this week.
That's the best difference that's been between Gabor and Unite. So where's Ricardo? He's not too far away.
Well, he's trying to get the car back. He's only one corner away, but it is quite a long corner. He's up to full speed. This is going to be a risk, surely.
Yeah,
Look at the car.
he
It just
needs to
doesn't.
take it careful, but
But he can't take it
Gabor's
careful if he
easily
wants
gonna
to.
pass him.
Oh, it's just
It's gonna be
uncomfortable.
just drifting.
No, straight across the grass. Didn't even attempt, but you know, yeah.
Oh,
Ricardo
that's
might-
also. Oh, Arskas lost his both rear tires. He's got a long lap ahead of him as well.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's a
uncomfortable.
long Rony to get past.
There goes Majesta, unlapping himself
My
on
French Rony.
Rick.
And Rick's going to be. Yeah, Rony could got quite close to Rick, to be honest.
Yeah, Rony could get P5 here. Gabor will take a podium if he finishes the next lap. As Joni Katila starts, after all that, Joni Katila starts the final lap.
Yeah.
he qualified 5th, guys, if you remember. But it didn't seem like it was going to be his day, but now it certainly is on the cusp of it being his day.
Yeah, you don't want to bet against Johnny on a good day, do you? So there you go. Rick Cardle, unfortunately, not able to make those tyres last another 2 laps. Yeah, I mean, that was pushing it. Well, luckily, the tyre went in a place where he could manage it for the rest of the lap, so he will still finish, and it may be ahead of Rony just.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rony's
Rick
just
is out
crossed the
of pits
line.
and Ron is just crossing the line, so that's
Right.
the start finish straight between
Yeah,
those.
there you go. All right.
That's poor Arska, he's losing so many places. He's struggling so much. Gonna be Koivunen closing up to him and going past.
Well, we're watching Joni Katila complete the final lap of a 33-lap epic. Crazy to think that Joni had a blowout, a tyre blowout, but was able to manage it to the point where he kept it on the track, got the car round to the pit lane as he passes. Is that his dad? Is that Yari?
Yeah, that's Arska.
Oh, it's
With his rear
Aska.
tires
Sorry, Aska's still with.
Oh,
trouble.
Arska's got the double punctures at the back.
Yeah, both rear tires.
Yeah, you'd want to be lapped. Yeah, that'll save his blushes. He can just make it to the finish line now.
Yeah, well, what would be worse is if he doesn't realise that and goes into the pits. I'm sure he will, as Joni Katila comes across the line in a minute to take victory in a dramatic race here for round 11 of RTFR XL. There he goes across the line. Absolutely epic driving there from the master of GTRs today. Well, I say master. He had his own fair share of problems, didn't he? United's being super careful around the final corner.
Joni was quite strong through the race, but then, then there was the tire issue, and it seemed like it's all gone for him. But
Who's that
yeah,
in the pit lane? Is that
it was-
Aska? He has gone in the pits.
Oh,
I'm surprised he didn't
It's a
just
weird
drive it
decision.
to the line.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
go into a pit
Manchester
box
beats
now.
him. Manchester
Manchester,
gets
yeah.
the position.
That's crazy. Joni's already on the podium before everyone else has even finished. So yeah, Manchester there. Look, actually classified ahead of Aska. They are a lap down. We're still waiting for other drivers to come across to finish. There is Rick Cardle coming across in P5. I can't believe Gabor got a podium. That's crazy.
yeah, that's super crazy.
Rony comes across the line in P6.
If I highlight that Gabor started from last and he had a double front blowout and he went straight into the wall on the gravel trap, you wouldn't believe that I say he finished on podium.
No, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't believe that. Someone who got a little bit forgotten in the midst of all that was Mantas, finishing 10 seconds off in the end, led the majority of the race, but pitted early, and that's what happens if you give up time. Mantas would be rethinking his strategy, I think, after that one. So yeah, Mantas may have put a bit too much fuel in at his stop, which could be the reason why he finished a little bit low down. We're still waiting for a couple of cars to finish. 2 more drivers expected to come across the line before we can give you the final results here. But thanks, Miika and Eoin, and obviously Chris in our ears for that one. That was excellent.
You're very welcome, Pete. T-Bug just also mentioned he got a puncture the last corner of the last lap of his race, but obviously he's a lap down. So I suppose that's one way of looking at it. He wouldn't have really finished well if he got the puncture at that stage. But yeah, at least he made it to the finish.
And there we have it, the results of a very dramatic 83rd ever RTFR XL Round 11 of the 2023 season completed with Ioni Katila for World Class Lions. True Alpha on the top step on victory lane there. B2R Mantas led most of the race, got the pole position, and just couldn't get it done. I think there was, potentially decided that he wanted to change tyres at the pit stop and didn't have the pit stop set up properly. We can only speculate what happened there until we find out from him. But P2 today, a great effort there, getting up and there on another podium. From the back with a double blowout into the wall headfirst for Gabor, and still the man manages to get it round into a podium playing position. That's absolutely outrageous. I'm not going to linger on that because Unite must be feeling pretty upset. So too must Rick Cardle. Unite didn't change tyres, but just didn't have the pace ultimately today to make it onto the podium. Rick had a podium until he didn't change the tyres at the stop either. And with 2 laps to go, lost that rear tyre, and that spelled the end of his podium hopes, finishing in P5, which is still admirable considering everything that happened. Then we've got Rony and Lorenzo, the race green teammates there in 6th and 7th. Pekka Koivunen, Mad Jester and Asker round out your top 10. And then the final finishers, all 7 of them, it's Yasin, JSK, Jari Katila, Tallenberg, Ruby, T-Bug and Hermani. Your non-finishers are Christie, who will be classified, completed enough of the race to be classified and get some points. Then we've got Soini and Lord Jag rounding out the top 20. And just a few more results to talk about on the other page for Upsas DNFing 22 laps down with a Dal D0 FPS and Rayman. Wow, gents, that was another fantastic race. And it's teeing us up for the finale in 1 month's time.
Yeah, it was one quite of a race. Not to mention also that Ioni Katila said that he was feeling sick the whole race, and that's just all another level on what he achieved by driving under such a condition. Congrats to him being so strong from the start and going through the struggle of having a tire blowout and all that stuff. Yeah, it was interesting, very strategic race and kind of unexpected chaos happening on the closing stages, but very enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean it's often nice when there's some strategy intrigue that only becomes apparent to us halfway through the race. We should have definitely done our homework on that to kind of maybe foreshadow what was going to happen at the end. But I'm sort of glad we didn't, because it kind of changed the dynamic of the race quite a lot. And then we just spent our entire, probably the final third of the race, essentially saying, who's next?
Yeah, there's certainly an unusual dynamic. We don't normally look at our entries to the race in that kind of vein, but it did result in a tire battle, an endurance battle to the end, where Mantas was disappointed that he played played at standard, but did not get the victory that looked to be in his control after the first stint. So yeah, that was a good play for Yanni, winning that tire puncture when he got it. Yeah, in fact, it probably will feel like a win. He got it at a point on the track where he could manage it.
Yeah, indeed. We have an interview lined up, which is slightly unusual for RTFR. And what's more unusual is that it's from a driver who DNF'd. I hope they're not too upset. Adal joins us in the commentary box. Unfortunately, 24 laps down here today, Adal. But tell us about your experience in RTFR XL. Welcome to the commentary box.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to be back after the 8 hours interview. My race started really great. I expected some crash at the T1, but it went really well. I moved up some positions. There were really great fights with Manchester, Talha, and other people, but I didn't think they got airtime, and I think you guys only saw the switchback with Talha. So it was going really great, and when Manchester was just right side me, I just lost connection and my race ended there. As you guys, as somebody can know, I moved to MRC and it was my first race as MRC, and it was really frustrating to add my first race with a disqualifying and result. Yeah.
Well, they can't all go your way, but we wish you luck in your new team, and I'm sure that the results will come. It's not always a fairy tale, unfortunately, Adal. But thanks for joining the race. It sounds like you had plenty of drama. You've just listed a list of events that have happened, and you didn't even. Well, there were 24 laps you couldn't complete. So, goodness me, that would have been a long interview if you'd have finished.
Yeah, like we at the start of the race, nobody was talking about tire changing or else, because there was a 10-second mandatory pit stop. Everyone was talking about starting with less fuel and adding back to the top when we were at the pits, and it was really interesting when watching people get punctures at the end of the race. And yeah, it was quite fun to race that to watch and even drive. So thank you.
No, thanks for joining. It's rare we speak to drivers after RTFR XL, but yeah, thanks for joining in, and we'll see you next time. Good luck with your new team, MRC.
Yeah, thank you.
Adal there finishing a few laps down, but nonetheless, good to hear from them, Owen.
Yeah, it is very welcoming to have people come in to have a chat about their point of view in the race. So yeah, that's much appreciated. So yeah, good stuff, and hopefully maybe we'll have more chats. I know the Crashmas, if that goes ahead, that'll be a great time for lots and lots of interviews.
Well, rumour has it that might be getting broadcasted again this year, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Crashmas on Boxing Day. Interesting. Ooh. Well, it's not quite Christmas yet. Let's not start talking about that just yet. We're in the middle of November, Owen. But yeah, good fun towards the end of the year expected once again. Let's wrap it up there, gents, and bring the show to a close. So, thank you everybody for joining us for another round of RTFR XL. That was quite exciting, wasn't it? And that wraps up, a week of very exciting races. We had the exciting Fox Friday race 2 on Friday, the Rockian 500 on Sunday, which you can check out on our YouTube channel. From Kesav, over 3 hours of oval racing. That was an epic. And then tonight, round 11 of RTFR XL in 2023. That will go down in our memories for a while, I think. And we'll be back on your screens in a week's time for RTFR as we bring to a close that championship as well in a few weeks' time. But yeah, from all of us here on the channel, we wish you a pleasant week, and we'll see you again in 7 days' time. Owen, Miika, it's a pleasure. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.